If she had only been ugly, we would still be together.
Let me introduce you, right?
Yeah.
Would you please be professional? Do you mind being professional for once in your life?
For once.
Oh, God, I get nervous when I get these guys. These witty, funny guys. The attitudes. Don Irrera, live from the Laugh Factory. I think you know that. Welcome back. I had to miss a week because I was in Europe and Asia. Well, not Asia, Australia, same shit. I want to thank the city for opening up their hearts to me. Perth for tearing my rotator cuff. And, of course, Kilkenny, Ireland, love you. And Galway. And Tip of Tipperary, where my friend Jane got married to my friend Neil. Right now, they're probably making Irish love, which lasts about 2-3 minutes. Welcome to the show. Brad Williams is here today. Brad?
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, my friend, you blew me away in Austin. I don't want to get
thank
Sammy maudlin on you, but I didn't know you were that strong. I knew you were strong, but I really only seen you at like a couple of these clubs.
Yeah.
And it's just seeing you on that different turf, and man, you just took that show over.
Yeah,
You drove that motherfucker home, Brad.
Moon Tower Comedy Festival. That was great, right?
It's fun, yeah.
That whole festival thing. I've just started doing these festivals within the last year and a half, and I really enjoy them.
Yeah, they're great, right? Because it's like comedy camp for headliners.
Yeah, because we never get to hang out with other headliners.
Yeah.
We go to the cities, and then we gotta make nice with the local boy from Des Moines. Sometimes that's nice. Sometimes it's good. For the most part.
Is there anything you could do for me? Anything?
You make a phone call.
I was having dinner. Right? A lot of times I'll take the axe out, you know, because I spend, baby. And I was, and this guy kept hitting on me like for jobs, and I hadn't even seen him perform.
Yeah.
Hey, look, first of all, I don't even care about my career as much as you care about your, you know, like. So I don't even care about, you know, how am I going to care about yours? I don't give a fuck about mine.
Right.
And I haven't even seen you.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah. My favorite, and this has happened to me multiple times, is when an opening act will say, "Hey man, you gotta help me get into movies," and I say, "Motherfucker, I'm not in movies."
Yeah, right.
Like,
but I'll help you.
But I'll help you. Like, what movies have you seen me in to where I could call up the vice president of show business and say, you know what?
Right.
This kid out here in Omaha, you gotta see him.
You got it.
I mean, I know you have that. I know you have Tobey Maguire lined up for your next picture, but this kid in Omaha, he's got talent.
I had a friend named Bernie, who his wife, he was married at the time.
Protestant, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, she said to me, first of all, I was 5 years from doing The Tonight Show.
Okay.
I was starting out in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. And she says, if you get on The Tonight Show, can you mention Bernie to Johnny Carson? Like, that's what I'm going to, first of all, my friend Bernie, very talented actor, but we were both like doormen and waiters at this restaurant. And I'm going to sit at panel. For the first time in my life, this big fucking thrill, Johnny Carson, and go, Johnny, forget about me. I got to tell you about my friend Bernie. He's a community theater actor. He's terrific.
Shout out to Jill over in Irvine, California. Like, make sure you say that.
Yeah,
it really doesn't make sense to me either.
She was in Annie Gets a Gun. She destroyed.
The community theater.
People are so naive, you know. You ever get people ask you how you get stuff? Mm-hmm. Well, how the fuck do they think? People have to ask for you. Like if you go to a club, when you know if you went as a middle act or whatever, and you worked your way up to headlining, it's because you worked your way up. It's not because you went, listen, man, you know, can I headline, please? You know, it's like it's about the money and people selling tickets.
Oh, that's what you did?
There's no conspiracy.
I just started blowing guys.
That's, you know, I mean, who doesn't do that for fun? That's not even a gay thing. It's an old custom.
Shout out to Dave Stroop in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a delicious cock he has. Nice little side dish.
Exactly. He's great.
His balls are so musky.
They are.
He's a wrestler. I love wrestlers.
But yeah, it's fascinating to me when people say, how did you do it? And with stand-up, the thing about stand-up is there's no secret, no great thing that certain headliners know that that they're keeping from people. It's just you go to open mics, you go on stage,
Yeah.
you keep going on stage.
But the audience tells you. The
Right.
audience tells you and it tells the club owner.
Yeah.
And the fact that some people might call up and go, who's that guy that went on second? He's fucking great.
Right.
That's how you get it.
Yeah.
It's not this big, like, well, I was at the Improv one night, and this guy comes up to me and goes, how do you get on the Tonight Show? I said, well, you know, it's kind of hard. I said, you got to, like, write these short sets that are not my style, but he goes, you got to write? I go, well, what the fuck did you think?
Did you think it was just a window that you just go to and, like, apply?
Well, like you said before about the president of showbiz, you think
Yeah.
there's, like, this guy who's, like, a friend of your Uncle Sam's that he
Right.
calls and gets you that?
That's hilarious. Another one I get is when I tell people I'm a comedian. They say,
Say something funny.
Oh, wow, you're a comedian. Who writes your jokes? And I say, well, me. It's like, I don't know what they think
I'm
happens.
sorry, brother. I'll turn this off.
Oh, sure, no problem. Popular man, Dom Irrera.
Very, very unprofessional.
That's the vice president of show business right there
Cool.
calling you. Yeah.
You see, he wants to know if you want to do a movie. I told him you were busy doing bananas.
But what I was saying was, sometimes when I tell people I'm a comedian, they say, who writes your jokes?
Right.
And for me, it's like,
Prisoners.
I take all applications. Like, I literally think they feel there's a...
Thank you, me brother.
Oh, look at that. You got coffee there.
I can't even hold. I got a bad shoulder.
Yeah, you said you tore your rotator cuff.
Partially tore.
Pitching?
I was coming in for relief, you know. I was in relief. I was doing the middle innings.
Well, that sucks that you couldn't be there to relieve Kershaw yesterday when he threw the no-hitter. I
know. I saw that.
Yeah, so
This goes on in about 3 weeks, though.
Oh, okay. So,
That's all right.
So what happened to your rotator cuff?
Oh, man.
Partial tear, but what did you
First
do?
of all,
Autoerotic
so
asphyxiation?
fucking... No. I was upside down trying to shoot a load into my mouth. I was in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be a distant city bragger. And there was a fire alarm went off, and I thought, fuck it, you know, in hotels, every Saturday night. It's
Happens
like,
all the time, yeah.
all right, so I didn't think nothing. Then it kept going, and then all the people got in the halls, and I get on an elevator, and it starts shaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucking panic, and I open the doors, but it was so hard that it tore something in my shoulder. And there were some really hot chicks in the elevator, so I didn't want to act like a pussy. So
Yeah.
I just like kept walking until I got out of sight, and then I went, oh, fuck, motherfucker.
So you Incredible Hulked the door open?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
because
Well
you know
done,
how like
sir.
when mothers lift a car because their child's under, you
Right.
get that kind of strength, but apparently my shoulder didn't. But let me tell you this. This
Yeah.
is cool. I'm coming back from Australia. I'm in a lot of pain, but I didn't want to go to the doctor. It's not like a heart attack or something that you really have to go to the doctor. It's pain.
Sure. Yeah, it's just
And I
annoying
can take pain, and I know you're into a little yourself there.
Sure.
Bad boy.
Choke me, baby.
So I come back here and I go to do Chicago Laugh Factory.
Right.
And I only have a couple days before I go to Ireland. I'll make this story real brief. I get off stage and I'm talking to the crowd and I'm waving like this. I'm telling them I couldn't lift my arm at all.
Yeah.
And this guy comes up to me and goes, you know, I'm a pain specialist and an orthopedic surgeon and all this, whatever, anesthesiologist, like a bunch of things. He said, I got 20 doctors with me. And when we saw the way you're moving, you definitely have at least a partial tear in your rotator cuff. He says, come in tomorrow. I'll do pro bono. I'll look at you. Boom, take care of you.
Wow.
I go, you don't have to go pro bono. I got insurance. He goes, I want to, man. You made me laugh for 25 years. Fuck it. And he was, you know, like, you know, when you go in as a comedian,
Yeah.
so he goes, is this the hand you jerk off with? I go, I jerk with this hand, but I off with this one. I can't off with this one. But anyway, and then I said, well, while I'm here, my hip hurts too.
Yeah.
You know, he took care of me. Is that unbelievable? I had one day before
Yeah.
I was going to come back here and then go to Ireland. And I got shots in my arm, and I felt much better.
That's how you know you're getting older, when you start looking at people in the medical profession and like
As comrades.
yeah, comrades, and like, man, I gotta get myself some doctor friends. Like, I'm going to this physical therapist office. I've been going for the last few months.
For what?
Well, I was doing a show in Denver, and this little
Wendy's place?
the Comedy
I'm
Works
there
in
in
Denver,
September.
best damn club in the country.
Which one do you work?
Both of them. I work the Landmark and the Downtown Club.
I like the one out. I like both of them, but I'm working the Landmark. I like the. It's like being on a giant cruise ship.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's cool. It was after a show, and this little 110-pound girl comes up to me and says, I want to take a fun picture. I say, great. So I lift her over my shoulders. I've done it 1,000 times, and we took a fun picture. It was fine. Right after that, her boyfriend, this big lug, 200 something, just says, "That looks like fun," and jumps on my back. Jumps on my back, tears like a bunch of stuff. So
fucking idiot.
Yeah. And I wanted to sue him, but he's a MMA fighter. And
really?
Yeah. So if like, he'll kick my ass.
He would know better.
Yeah, like he knows that the little 95-pound literal dwarf cannot lift him.
I couldn't lift him either.
Yeah. So I've been going to this physical therapist office for the last few months. It's been doing great things, and there's this beautiful woman who works there. And I swear, she may not
give
even
her a
be,
shout out, Brad.
Yeah, she may not even be that hot, but I see her in that office. I go, she's a physical therapist. If I could date her, oh my God, come like have sex, and then she massages you afterward.
She straightens you out.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's how you know you're getting older. Is you start looking at like doctors, and oh man, I gotta hook myself up with that.
Yeah, when you have your urologist home number. That's not a good thing.
It's funny because there's certain professions where when you meet someone who does that profession, you immediately want them to do their job for free. Comics, we are one of those jobs where people
tell me a joke.
Tell me a joke. You immediately get that. I imagine physical therapists, doctors, and strippers. Strippers, you meet a stripper. A girl says she's a stripper. You're like, all right, well, I'm gonna see tits tonight, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get to have a peek.
I was on an elevator in Atlantic City, and this girl recognized me. She goes, "I know you make," and I knew she was a hooker. And she goes, "I know you make me laugh." I said, "All right, but you make me come." She goes, "That's a good one."
You're like,
for $350.
Yeah, you're like, no, seriously though. I was on a flight one time. It was a red-eye flight, LA to Miami, and I sit down. Every guy's dream. This blonde with huge tits turns out to be a Playboy model. Sits down right next to me, and we got the whole row to ourselves for a 6-hour flight. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great. This is the dream scenario. So before I could even start talking to her, she starts yapping, and I'm telling you, Dom, the most annoying person I've ever sat next to.
It all changes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it changed quick. After about 20 minutes of her talking about herself, she finally goes to me, and this is when she said, "I do work in Playboy. I'm a Playboy model, whatever." And she says to me, "Oh, what do you do?" And I say, "I'm a comedian." She said, "Oh, this is great. You're gonna get to make me laugh." And I had enough. I went, "Honey, tell you what. Your job is to get naked. My job is to tell jokes. When you do your job for free, I'll do my job for free." And then that shut her up for the rest of the flight. And I had a very peaceful flight. He just wants to see my tits. Yeah, because that's what you do. You show your tits.
Yeah.
I tell jokes. We can make a fair trade here. It's okay.
Would have been worth it. If she was that annoying.
Oh, I mean, even if she was that annoying, if she starts getting naked, I'll do a tight half hour. I don't care.
Tight half hour on a plane. Yeah. And coach, you're gonna work? You don't work a coach. You work at least business class. Fuck them.
I've been running into Bobby Slayton a lot.
My wife's a cunt.
Bobby Slayton, let me tell you, Brad Williams, very funny guy. We've been running into each other on flights a lot, and not that long ago, I got upgraded to first class. So I'm sitting in first class. Bobby had to go back to coach, and he's passing me.
Oh, I love that.
That's the best. Isn't that
Especially
the best feeling?
Especially him.
Especially Slayton.
Because that bothers him.
So, and it did. He walked back and he stopped in the middle of first class. What the hell? What the hell does this guy get to sit first class? Every seat in the damn plane is first class to him. This is insane. And he starts like going off and doing like a full 10 minutes. And I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing in the middle of first class. I love Bobby. He's great. But
yeah, but you know what he does that I just don't agree with? He tells you his shortcomings and failures. It's like I would never do that. I mean, I know I'm more successful than Bobby. I mean, I am. You know, I mean, I'm much more successful.
Yeah, you're a legend.
Make a lot more. I'm not a legend. I'm just old, but I make a lot more money than him, and he's great. I love him, but I love to like. How'd you get that? You know, because I hosted this show. It was called Full Frontal Comedy.
Mm-hmm. I watched it
on Showtime.
Yeah.
and he wanted the job, and he was always pissed that he became the announcer on my show.
Right.
And I want to have him on here, and I'll see him in Montreal. Are you going to Montreal?
Not this year.
What the fuck?
I did.
I thought you were Festivus, the festival man.
I did it last year. So then they told me, they said, you've done everything right. We want you back, but we're gonna wait a year. We
that's cool.
to rotate.
That makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm doing the All-Star show, whatever that means.
Oh,
but I know I got Alonzo Bowden on it, and
that's great.
I'm sure it'll be very good. I know that. I don't know all the names yet. I'd like to get Russell Peters and Jeremy Hotz. But
sure, why not? I love hanging out with Hotz in Montreal.
Hotz is great. He's fucking great.
People think that Jeremy Hotz, that's a character.
No,
it's not a character.
No, he's
that man is that neurotic all the time.
Oh.
All the
time.
How
you doing, Jeremy? Not good. Oh, got this pain and another pain that leads to the pain.
He'll get off. He's the only guy I've ever seen get a standing ovation, come off stage and go, "Those were a bunch of miserable fucks in that audience."
That sucked. Yeah. And he always does well.
Yeah.
No matter what situation
he kills.
He don't give a fuck. You know how we have this competition here with some of the younger guys and not wanting to follow and all that stuff.
Sure.
Jeremy don't care. I don't care. I don't fucking care.
Well, I mean, you get to the point where you follow enough guys. I remember one time I had to do the midnight show here on a Saturday. And the Laugh Factory, when they do the midnight show, they typically roll over the audiences. So the 10 o'clock audience stays for the midnight show. I mean, they can leave whenever they want, but they have to stay and watch the show. So I had to go on. It was Arius Spears. After him was Chris D'Elia. After him was Dane Cook. And then the other comic I was supposed to go on said, "Fuck that, I'm not doing it." Left.
Right.
And then they put me on.
If anybody could do it, you could do it.
Well, I did well, and from then on, I was like, okay, I don't care who goes on before me, because once you succeed in that realm, once you succeed there, it's like, oh, okay, this is fine. Nothing scares me now.
First time I went on at the Improv when I came here in the 80s, I went on after Leno and Robin Williams.
Wow.
And you know what I said? And I'm not trying to top you.
Yeah,
honest God,
it's fine.
with the name dropping, but they were not as famous then as they are now.
Sure.
And but they were still big acts, and Robin had done Mork and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I just said to the audience, I go, well, what the hell kind of spot is this? I said, I just came out here from New York. I got to follow these guys?
Yeah.
I said, you said lower your standards. I said, but anyway, if you acknowledge it, they give you like a break on it,
Yeah, and if you let them in on the secret of, hey, I get that what you just saw was unbelievable, but I mean, this is my job, and let me have some fun.
And
here
I'm
too.
fucked.
Yeah, and I'm fucked. I'll have a little bit of sympathy for you.
Yeah,
it's great. Wow, so that was Robin in the '80s. So that was Robin at the peak, huh?
Yeah, he was a ball of energy. And a good guy, He's like, Robin's a really good guy. He's just, he's uncomfortable in certain social situations. Mm-hmm. But if you get him alone, fucking ace.
Yeah, I've met him twice. And the first time I met him, I was doing a show up in Mill Valley, which is just north of San Francisco.
With
Pitta.
Yeah, I've done that gig.
Yeah, it's a great show.
By the way, plug any dates you have. Say like 3 to 4 weeks from now.
Okay, July 10th through the 14th, I'll be at the pre-mentioned Comedy Works in Landmark, the Landmark Comedy Works.
Cool.
Denver,
I'll be there
Colorado.
in September.
There you go. BradWilliamsComedy.com has all my dates. I think right after that I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
What's your Twitter?
At FunnyBrad on Twitter. And I try to tweet both jokes and promotional stuff. More jokes than promotional stuff. So you can actually follow me.
I'm at Dom Irrera, and I'm fucking steamrolling.
Yeah,
I'm
you're killing it.
I'm up there, baby.
Rob Delaney, go fuck yourself.
Me and Tosh have millions together.
Combined.
First time I met you were with Daniel.
That's right. Well, because Daniel's is friends with a friend of mine who
do I know him?
Who is a little person, a guy named Nathan, and Daniel put him on the show a bunch of times. So it's funny because when I first met Tosh, he knew like all the terminology. Like instead of saying dwarf or midget, he says LP, which is a very politically correct.
He doesn't call you a redskin.
No.
Redskins offensive.
That's offensive. But by the way, if they take away the name Redskins, please nickname the team the Midgets. I will buy more T-shirts if they call that team the Midgets than fucking anybody.
What do you think? What do you think it could be called? That refers to Native Americans. That would not be offensive, or should you not refer to them at all?
The Tomahawks, the Braves, the Warriors.
Because I would love if they called a Philadelphia team, Philadelphia Greaseballs.
the Guineas.
Hey, South Philly, fucking Italian.
Go Guineas.
Go Guineas. But I mean, some people are just more sensitive than others, and I understand there's reasons for it, but I don't give a fuck. What's your nationality background?
Dutch, German, and Welsh. So I'm all the boring white stuff.
Well, at least the Welsh have personality.
Yeah, yeah, we're known for that.
Johnny comes down with his black hat on, and he can cut a leg of lamb like no one I had ever seen.
Wow, yeah, you actually do a good accent. Like a lot of people don't know like this.
Well, that was Welsh. That was my
differences.
That was my ear Welsh. I don't know how good it is.
And then you make fun of the Germans, and everyone can make fun of them. It's okay.
The German, yeah. There's a fun group. I was out with these Germans last week. I would piss my pants. Oh my God, are they fun?
You never really hear that. You never really hear like, oh, well, I'm hanging out with the Germans tonight. It's gonna be a barrel of laughs.
No.
No, not really funny people.
What do you think's the funniest ethnic group?
Oh, jeez. I think unintentionally Indians.
Indians from India?
Yeah. Like just that accent, you like just saying just saying very simple things like this is going to be very funny. Like especially if you get the dry sense of humor.
Isn't it amazing how many people know Russell Peters in India and all those Asian countries? Fucking unbelievable.
Everyone. It's funny. A buddy of mine is putting together like a small charity show out in Orange County, and watches Last Comic Standing where Russell's a judge, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that Russell Peters guy, he's doing okay on that show as a judge. Maybe I can get him." Like, you fool. That dude plays the O2 Arena 3 shows in a week, sells it out.
Well, he did this show, and he's the only one that brought a posse with him to my podcast.
To a podcast?
Who the fuck brings a posse to a podcast? And they're guys, some of those guys, they look like gangbangers.
Yeah.
They're black guys with the fucking bandanas, and they're the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah.
It's so funny how looks are not always what you see is not always the reality. Anybody that hangs out with him, he knows a good guy.
Well, but see, if they hang out with him, they might be Canadian gangbangers, and even Canadian gangbangers are just nice as hell.
They excuse themselves. Excuse me, I have to.
I got heckled one time in Canada, and it was the nicest heckle. It was in Edmonton. And I did a show there, and this heckler, he yelled something out like, "You're not funny," or whatever the hell he said. And then there was a pause, and right before I said the comeback, he goes, "I'm sorry about that, I shouldn't have said that to you while you were up on stage. That wasn't very nice of me." And he was sincere.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He was sincere. They're that nice where he did a heckle. He's like, that's
the guilty heckler.
That's not good
you
on me.
You suck. Oh, why did I say that? I'm so sorry.
I'm like, and I sat there like, no, I'm not mad at you now. Like, this is I wish every heckler did that.
Oh, yeah.
I wish every bachelorette party while they were talking during my set about whose dick they're going to suck after the show went, "I'm sorry, that wasn't nice. We should just shut up and drink our penis straws."
Well, I don't give a fuck about hecklers. Does it bother you?
It's weird. It depends on the kind of heckler, because a heckler that talks to me, that heckles at me, I'm okay with that, because now you're engaged with me, and I know that I'll win.
Yeah.
The hecklers that I hate aren't really heckling. They're the people that are just talking, that are just in their own world, and they're ignoring the show.
Yeah, and then there's people that are waiting for their one moment in the sun as a comedian.
Yeah.
That one moment that, and then they blow it, and they
They feel like they have to recover. And I know that group because they were the guy that when the group said they were going to a comedy show, everyone looked at them, that one person, and went, "Oh, you're gonna love this. It's a stand-up comedy show. You're really funny." And they were like built up, and then they're like, "I'm really," and then they saw the comic be funny,
right?
And now the comic's the funny guy.
You should be a comedian. You're so funny at work.
Yeah. And now he's like, "Oh shit, I should prove myself."
Yeah.
And then they try to prove themselves, and you're just not gonna win.
Well, the thing I told somebody one time, I go, "Do you realize what you have up against you?" I said, first of all, I have the lights, the
Right.
microphone, the sound system, the crowd's behind me,
Yeah.
and if all else fails, I got fucking 400-pound bouncers that'll beat the fuck out of you
For fun.
on the side of the building. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for you. They're
hoping for
salivating.
that. Because
They're bored.
if that doesn't happen, they just stand by the door. They want some action.
I had I don't even know, I probably said this on this show before, but I had a girl sitting right here on New Year's Eve, and a couple of years ago, and I went out a couple times with this girl. She's real beautiful, really nice girl, and she said that she was ugly, this girl, and something about her looking like a dolphin or some fucking shit.
Okay.
And I went off on her, right? And they got thrown out, and and her boyfriend apparently, what I heard, what the guys told me outside, the valet said, the boyfriend said to her, you know, he was right. He shouldn't have said that. And she fucking clocked him. Right? She clocked the boyfriend. And then, like, 2 minutes later, they were, like, making out.
Oh, good.
It had a happy ending.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that works out.
Do you do any casinos?
Rarely, but every now and then I do. I just got booked. This is way in advance, but next February I'm going to be up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, at a casino up there. But
you know what? But we book like that.
Yeah.
Next February, I'm going to be at the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
And because Dino and the boys, the Italian American Club, I go when they get together so I can go have dinner with them.
Oh, okay.
Italian Social Club or whatever it is.
Nice.
So, you know, and it's funny you say that because people go, "You're booked in February?"
You're like,
Fucking
"Yeah."
June.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got a great casino gig coming up in August at the Tropicana in Atlantic City. So it's 2,000 seats, and it's so cool to go home. You know, like, because I'm from Philly.
Yeah.
I think it's August 2nd or 3rd, whatever that Saturday is.
And that's where a bunch of people from Philly go, like during the summer, to kind of
that's their vacation
Yeah.
thing. Well, it's funny because there's a billboard of me on the Atlantic City Expressway. And you know when something's you don't think it's that big a deal. Like you just did that festival.
Yeah.
You know how fucking hard it is to get that festival.
Yeah.
You know what do they take? 20 comics.
Yeah, and they're all trying to get in. Like,
You know, and you know, you just like because you did it, you don't think it's that big a deal. You might be excited about it, you might be, but it's almost like that thing, any club that I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me.
Right.
Groucho Marx line. And you know, I got a billboard, and I'm thinking, if this was one of my friends, this is Billy Levin and Jimmy Welding. I go, holy fuck, they got a billboard.
Right.
But because it's me, I think, how big a deal could it be? I got a billboard.
I got a billboard.
I hate me.
They must be giving these to everybody.
Yeah, right.
I just played a festival called Bonnaroo, which is in Tennessee. It's like their Coachella.
Yeah, I heard of that.
It's and
was it in Nashville?
It's just outside of Nashville in a small town called Manchester, Tennessee, like on a farm.
You know, it's a great club, by the way, Knoxville.
Side Splitters.
Side Splitters.
I did that three weeks ago.
Oh, really? It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fun club. Great people.
I do it every January because Bobby Jewell, the owner, and I watched the AFC NFC championships games. So I do Tampa.
Okay.
The week of that, and then I do Knoxville the next week.
Yeah, because those are two clubs. Bobby Jewell, one of the great characters.
Bobby Jewell, the
in
disco
this
comedy
business.
club. First time I met him, he fucking moonwalked around the bar. I go, I like this guy. He picked me up drunk in the morning.
That makes sense.
And I said, please let me drive. No, I'm fine. Whenever somebody like slurs fine, you know they're fucked up. I'm fine, yeah. But that's good you work for him.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and I'm out there in this Bonnaroo festival, but they that's a music and comedy festival, and I didn't necessarily realize how cool it was till they gave me the poster, and it had all the names. So my name's on there with Elton John, who played the festival.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Kanye West, Jack White, like Lionel Richie played, and you see that poster, you go, oh wow. That was a really cool thing.
That's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, then the best part about it is that I got to do the show, just work 15 minutes, and then go over to the main stage and watch Elton John for free, or essentially get paid to watch Elton John.
Yeah.
So and they're singing along to
I know, that's
Tiny
cool.
Dancer with a tear in your eye.
I was working in Atlantic City, and the Eagles were there, and I never really was, that big a fan of the Eagles. I liked their songs, but when I saw them live, and I thought the same thing. How fucking cool is that?
Right.
The security walks me back in the belly of the beast. Those tunnels. Then all of a sudden, I got the Eagles right there in front of me.
feeling like a big shot.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to do with comics because the one thing I really love about stand-up comedy is that whether you're an open micer, a feature headliner at my level, your level, or Jerry freaking Seinfeld, we all have to do kind of the same thing where we all have to go on the same stage.
Well, that's what Dennis Miller once said. He goes, nobody knows what it's like to walk out there but a few of us.
Yeah.
You know, just this elite group. And I know it sounds like we're patting ourselves on the back, but there's really not that many really good stand-ups. There's 100 maybe.
Yeah, but so like when Russell Peters or Jerry Seinfeld have to work out material, they do the same thing that you and I do. They just walk up on stage at a comedy club like the Laugh Factory and they start doing shows. So I like that, and I think that's what kind of keeps comics a little bit humble to where we're always sort of on that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like we always
equals
do the
things
same
out
thing.
because once you get out here on this stage, you're all you may be starting from an advantage. Mm-hmm. But after 3 minutes, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You can get that Jerry Seinfeld standing ovation and that.
Sure.
But Jerry knows. Jerry's too smart. He knows he's still got to produce.
Absolutely.
You can't keep saying thank you for 20 minutes. Thank you. And thank you. And thank you.
Yeah. Eventually, you got to bring it. That's a
It's
fun
like
time.
sports. You can't talk about. You have to actually do it in sports.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I love sports is because I'm a huge sports guy. Is because you can't look at someone on a professional basketball team, football team, hockey team and say, oh, they're there because their dad ran the team or his uncle gave him a tryout or something. No, if you're not good enough, they will cut you. Look what just happened on the World Cup when Landon Donovan got cut.
Yeah.
He's the guy, he's the legend. He's the best player in U.S. history. And yet they cut him from the team.
Yeah.
Because you're not producing. You're not doing what you need to do. And that's why I love sports. And I hope...
What's your favorite sport?
But I hope that's what kind of comedy does, is that...
Yeah, well, comedy's a little more subjective, though, because somebody can think... I mean, there are idiots that won't admit to somebody even being good. They'll go, well, yeah, but the guy hit 330. He had 40 home runs and 25 stolen bases. I still think he sucks. Well, then, fuck it. Don't, there's no objection. But in comedy, you can really say, he does not make me laugh. She makes me laugh.
Sure.
It's more subjective. You can't argue. You can't, like in a 100-yard dash, you can't go, I still think that fourth guy was fastest.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, Usain Bolt, overrated.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Yeah, I mean, I like to, when people say that certain guys aren't funny, some guy on the road one time said, man, I can't believe Larry the Cable Guy, he's not funny. And I said,
yes,
what?
He is.
I said, well, he sold out a football stadium. You can't sell out a football stadium and not be funny. He can not be funny to you. That's fine. You can say that I personally don't find so-and-so funny, but you can't say Larry the Cable Guy's not funny. He sold out a fucking football stadium.
Yeah, well, I love the guy. His name's Dan Whitney.
Right.
And, Tosh and Dan and I all worked West Palm a lot. And that's how we became friends.
Yeah, because Tosh is from Florida, right?
He's from Melbourne, yeah.
Okay.
And Dan's from Nebraska.
Okay.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, he just used to kill us. I mean, he's so fucking fun, naturally funny. But his act was very mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hooked onto this Cable Guy thing. And the last time him and I worked together, he middled for me in Atlanta. And I said to him, Dan, you're getting really fucking strong. Yeah. And he's such a humble guy. He goes, Dom, he says, I can't imagine following you in New York. I said, but that's not the point. And because I was going to tell him, drop this Cable Guy shit. It's not going anywhere. What the fuck? But, people don't know that a lot of us are friends.
Yeah. You get to, you get to a certain level. Like, once you get even above open micer and host, you start knowing everybody. Like, you start running into everyone somewhere.
It's a small group. And by the way, when you get in this circuit, the international circuit, which you will get into someday, then you realize how it's a club all around the world. Yeah. And there's still you'll see the same guys in New Zealand that you saw in Manchester.
Sure.
Yeah,
and there's that, and you say that it's that club all around the world, and that only few guys that know what it's like to be on that stage.
Isn't that cool?
And it is really cool to the point where if some guy's talking to me after a show, if I get done with a show and I'm meeting all the audience, which I do after every show, and some guys like to talk to me for a while, tell me about come out with us, come drink, and I just tune them out and I try to just move them forward. But if someone comes up and says, "Hey, I'm a comic," okay, my shields immediately go down. I'm like, "Oh shit, great! I can talk to you, and I will love talking to you, and I'll talk your damn ear off." Because you know that person knows what it's like. That person has that shared experience. As soon as you walk up to me and say you're a comic, I'll be like, oh, great, okay.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it, and not to be negative with you, it's when people say they're a comic because they, went on open mic 3 times.
Right.
Because, you never say I'm a jet pilot and you haven't flown a plane,
No, that makes perfect sense.
And I can tell by the questions they ask. And it kills me, the one who goes, how long did it take you to get wherever it was? And I said, you know what? Everybody has their own pace.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own path. Don't worry about me. Worry about you.
Worry about you. Do you?
Because then I feel like a dick, going, well, actually, I was on television in a couple of years.
Right.
And they go, well, I'm a newbie. I've only been doing it 10 years. I go, I'm like, 10 years? What the fuck? That's a long time.
But it's funny you mentioned earlier, you said that you would have told Dan Whitney to stop doing the cable guy character.
Yeah, and I really would have.
Yeah.
And I had no idea, and I loved the guy. And
that's why when comics ask, like young comics ask me for advice.
You want me to manage you? Is that what you're saying?
I'll give a comic advice, but then at the same time, I'll end it with, but by the way, I don't know anything. Because if, like, Stephen Wright back in the day had come up...
You're too boring.
Yeah.
Pick up the pace.
Speed it up.
Yeah.
Like, tell more about yourself. Don't just do one inconsequential joke after another. You'll never make it with that act. That's what we all would have told Stephen Wright, but we wouldn't take into the fact that Stephen Wright's a genius and makes that work. Yeah. So... I'll give someone basic advice, but at the same time, it's like, but if it works, who the fuck am I? And I don't know. If I knew exactly what to do and exactly how to kill, I'd be selling out stadiums like Russell Peters. I'm not. So obviously, I don't know.
But that has to do with other factors too. I mean, as much as I love Russell, and he knows this.
Sure.
He has clicked in with a niche. Is that the word?
Yeah.
That
niche market.
Is so specific, but so broad. I mean, nobody ever was an Asian comedian before him, and he doesn't even bill himself just as an Indian comedian.
Right.
Like Canadian Indian, he's Asian.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big fucking continent.
Yeah, so he can go to the Philippines. So he can go to
Cambodia. I work with Russell at the Laugh Factory in Long Beach. And somebody said, "Don't you have anything, funny to say about the Armenians?" Like Cambodians asked for,
Yeah.
That's a lot to cover.
I'm from Laos. What you got?
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Bring it on, motherfucker.
Yeah, got to go into my Laos stereotypes right now. Wow. Yeah, it's nuts. And Russell's admitted on several interviews I've heard with him that he's like, dude, I'm nothing. Like, obviously I'm special, but there's something, like, it just, his YouTube video just got going. And,
I mean, he deserves all the credit in the world. And what I love about him is he's so generous to his friends.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the most fun, when you get to, because if you have all the money and all the success, but you're still going to gig and doing these things by yourself, it's not that fun. I like to take people with me. If I get to go to a Bonnaroo, I'll take someone with me. So when we're doing something where something amazing happens, I can turn to the friend and go, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
This is happening. Can you believe this?"
Yeah, you want to share.
It's fun. Get to invite people backstage and do fun gigs like that.
I hope you get to do a couple of these festivals. Sydney and Melbourne are really cool, and Kilkenny is one of the hardest ones to get because they have so few Americans.
Okay.
But if you're in, it's such a fucking blast.
I would love to go to Ireland just because then I can do 15 minutes of fucking leprechaun jokes. And
you got that in you lucky bastard.
That's my favorite. I remember when I started comedy, and I walked into, I think it was up here at the Laugh Factory, and there was a bunch of comics hanging out, and I walked in. It was like one of my first book shows here. And some guy, I think it might have been Chris Spencer, Chris Spencer looks at me. He's like, "Holy crap! You're so lucky. You're a midget. What a hook!" And I was just sitting there like, "Really? So you would
got it
change?
made.
Yeah, like you would change places with me
Right.
for a second."
Well, didn't Chris Rock do a bit about about being black and how even no white guys would trade places with him?
And I'm rich.
Yeah, I'm
no
rich.
one wanted to change places with me. So I walk into a room and a black guy goes, "Man, I would
Lucky bastard."
I would kill to be a midget. Oh my God, my career would be going great."
Well, you still got to be good. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. That lasts just like I was saying about the applause.
Yeah.
Because after the initial reaction to your size or whatever,
Yeah,
then
fat
you still
guy,
gotta be
blind, whatever you got.
Yeah.
And because I know other dwarf comics. There's definitely
doesn't mean it's an in because you have an act. You have to have a good act.
Sure. There's a few out there that are really funny for a good 2 minutes, and then after that they don't.
Are there any women?
Yeah. Tanya Lee Davis.
Oh yeah.
She's a female dwarf, and she kills. She crushes. Oh my God. She's been doing this for like 20-something years.
Because I'm always looking for women for the show because it really is harder to get women. I mean, and I've had some great ones on the show. I mean, do you know Jessie Mae Pelusa?
Oh, she's great.
Fucking hilarious.
Girl Code. Yeah, she's awesome. And
Arden Marine.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave anybody out, but I've had some really, really good women.
Arden
she's fucking hilarious.
Austin. Arden was there.
Yeah. That's where I met her.
Yeah, and Arden, she met my girlfriend, and they were very friendly together. Now I didn't take my girlfriend to Austin, so Arden saw me talking with some other female, and it's just a girl after the show that I was talking with. Arden ran up and immediately was like, "So Brad, how's your girlfriend?"
Like defending her?
Yeah, like defending her. And I started laughing.
She's cock blocking.
Yeah, she was cock blocking me.
She doesn't need to.
Well, and here's the thing: is she didn't do it to be malicious or anything like that, and she knows the kind of guy I am that I wouldn't do something like that. But at the same time, I just started laughing, and we actually all called my girlfriend and told her about it. But yeah, it was just funny.
You fucking pussy whip motherfucker.
Fucking bastard.
That's funny.
Yeah, I was talking to my side piece, Arden, and then Arden totally cock blocked me. What happened, man?
She's cute.
She's great, and I
Cute's
love.
not a good word, is it? Women don't like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's funny. Yeah, I mean, she's funny first, and I love having if I could have a female open for me, I love that. Like, there's a comic. Do you know Danielle Stewart at all?
Oh yeah,
I love Danielle Stewart.
She used to be my agent. She used to
What's that?
She used to be my super artist.
That's
Danielle
right. She used to work there.
She's fucking hot too.
She's hot and she's hilarious.
Yeah,
and she's great. I've had her open for me several times.
Oh, good.
And I love the reaction she
Mary
gets from the
Patterson's also good. I don't know if you know her. She was also an agent, and now she's a stand-up.
It's funny that people that happens a couple times where people work in agencies and they go, fuck. These guys, these comics are doing this.
They ain't that funny on the phone.
Yeah, they're not that funny. I could do this, and then and then they go do it.
Some of them do.
I think Cristela Alonso was the same way. Or no, she was working at the Dallas Improv, and then she interacted with a bunch of comics, and now she's got her own damn show on ABC coming out.
Well, I've said this on this show a few times, but I met Sebastian when he was working at the Four Seasons. And, I get
as a waiter.
So much you get, I'm a comic and this and that.
Right.
And I just kind of shrugged it off. And then I thought, when I saw him, I go, what a fucking comic.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a waiter who was a comic. He was a comic who was a waiter.
Yeah, he happened to be a waiter as well, just to kind of get by.
He's great.
It's so cool when you see that, and when you see that work, and to see a guy who worked as hard as he did.
All right, enough with the love. Who do you fucking hate?
All right, well, let me tell you.
Do you hate anybody in the business?
No, I don't, because, I mean, for me, I'm never going to hate a guy or a girl just because I think there's room enough for everyone.
Yeah, I hate 3 comedians.
Are we going to say their names or no?
Nah.
No, okay.
I don't want to give them publicity.
But yeah, it's...
That's a good percentage when you consider, 1,000.
Sure. Yeah, because think about, for people listening to this podcast, think about people in your office. how many people in your office that you hate. For comics, it's the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like, granted, our office is a different kind in that it's spread all over the world, essentially, when we go tour. But it's still essentially an office. And, yeah, there's a couple people that rub you the wrong way, the same way there is in every office.
I hate, like, people who don't appreciate it. You know, life is so fucking tough, and so many people out there that can't get a shit job. And now you got a job, and you're bitching about this or following this guy, and whining fucking pussies I can't stand.
There's you'll love this then. When I was doing Bonnaroo, Kanye West.
When you and Elton John were working together?
Yeah, I mean, I was a bottom.
Did he open for you? You were the bottom.
Yeah, I was the bottom.
At the bottom in homosexuality is the guy who gets it in the tuchus.
That's me. So Kanye West was on stage, and he started bitching to the 90,000 people watching him why it was messed up that he didn't get asked to do the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, God.
He's telling 90,000 people that are all wanting to just see him do music, yeah, it's fucked up. They got Bruno Mars instead of me to do the Super Bowl halftime show.
Bruno Mars is better than him.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Kanye.
Obviously he listens to this podcast, so I'm sure he'll be hearing from him.
Sure he does. I'll hear from him.
And at one point he asked the audience, he's like, "Whoa, would you guys like it if I just shut up and put on a Bruno Mars CD?" And the audience was like, "Well, kind of, yeah. If you're just gonna bitch about how your life sucks the entire time when you're backstage boning a Kardashian and performing for 90,000 people, oh yeah, cry me a river, Kanye. Fuck off."
I know. They don't get it.
There are some people that are just never happy, and maybe that's why they're a success, because they're never content.
They're so driven.
Yeah, because they're always looking for the next thing. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it, but if that's what it takes to get to that level, fuck. I'd rather I'd rather have my 2-bedroom condo and a nice TV set. I'm good.
Yeah, I think they lose perspective and don't realize how hard life can be, and how some people just live paycheck to paycheck if they get a paycheck. And,
right.
You know, now this fucking podcast is going to make me cry. I was going to try and make you cry. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Orange County, California, and I still live out there. Yeah.
Where at? What town?
Fullerton, which is right next to Anaheim. And my only other job besides comedian, because I started doing comedy at 19, I actually used to work at Disneyland. That was.
What did you do?
I was not one of the 7. My only job. The 7 dwarfs, kid. But my job was I was the bodyguard for the characters. So I'd walk around with Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and I'd like.
Did you talk in your voice?
Like, no, Mr. I just walked around and talked like this. Hi, kids, welcome to Disneyland.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What was the pay?
It was a little above minimum wage. It was like maybe $9 or $10 an hour.
And you had to wear an outfit?
You had to wear like a themed outfit. Yeah, like Forever Land you were in that day. So like you're in, if you're in Fantasyland, I had to wear something that kind of looked like fucking lederhosen. It was like this weird German outfit, which for me as an adult man, but still as a dwarf dressed in lederhosen, I felt like I was some sort of pedophile's dream. like they would just walk up, see me and go, "Oh, that's what I like."
That's funny.
It was nuts. It was a fun job. It was a great job to have in high school. That's when I had it. And I never really had to do anything until one day when a guy punched Winnie the Pooh. That sucked.
Punched Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, Winnie. Boom. Little bitch.
He clocked Winnie and the head spun around.
Why?
No reason. Friends dared him, and he ran up and hit Winnie the Pooh.
Did she get hurt?
And thank you for saying she, because it was a woman in the suit, and that's why I'm like, and so I just witnessed a guy essentially punch a woman in the face, and
not that it's good for a man either, but
right.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah, so I mean, and I work with the girl. I know her now. As the bodyguard, whatever, we're actually not allowed to really touch people. We're supposed to like guide them away or like
right.
like use other tactics.
You were a bouncer for the dwarfs.
Yeah, but you punch Winnie the Pooh, I'm fucking you up. So
motherfucker.
So I just ran after this guy and I tackled him around the legs, and then I just started holding him down, going, "You stay here, we're gonna kick you out of the park." And then the guy yelled at me. He's like, "I've got friends." And I just started laughing at him, like, really? A 4'4" guy just tackled you, and your threat is, I've got friends. You can't take me out yourself.
Right.
A midget's beating you up, and your defense is calling the reinforcements. Fuck you. Fight me like a man, asshole.
So what happened? The security came and
Yeah, security came. They kicked him out. He did have friends, but they were looking at him, just laughing their balls off, just
That's great.
Keebler Elf took you down.
you took. Good for you, my man.
Yeah, that's right. Took him out.
Fuck him.
You don't
Pussy.
fuck with Winnie the Pooh.
No, that's cruel.
Winnie the Pooh's got a posse, my friend.
Any of them? Did you want to see any of them get clocked, like Goofy or
One time I saw
Mr. Toad?
3 guys pick up Woody, the character from Toy Story, not a cock. Pick up Woody and like pick him up and like drop him over a fence, like a very
Holy
small
shit.
fence. They just picked him up and dropped him, and then
Fucking
Woody.
nuts go to Disneyland.
Yeah, and then Woody, to his credit, got up. Woody is usually played by a very tall man, so he got up and started like wailing on the kids, like started like punching them and shit. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't get sued or anything. It was awesome. But yeah,
That was the only gig you had before comedy?
that was the only gig, man. And then I started doing comedy. I was going to USC. I was a junior in college. Started doing comedy, and then right when I started doing comedy, I dropped out because I dropped out of college. So I was like, this is what I want to do, which is a great phone call to make to your parents, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Especially
Hey,
if you're in
Mom.
a good school like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard enough I could never get in a school like that.
Yeah, and then people always ask me, they're like, well, what were you majoring in? And I tell them, I said, well, I was majoring in communication, so it's not like when I dropped out, we lost a cancer cure.
Right,
or
right.
something like that.
I can't believe he's so close to curing this disease.
Oh, darn, now he's going to tell jokes for a
He's
living.
giving it up for all of this?
Yeah, it's like maybe at best I would have been a sports announcer or something, but
Yeah.
now dude, like it's not like when Ken Jeong stopped being a damn doctor.
Oh,
Like an
man.
actual doctor. Like Ken is so talented, so funny, but at the same time, I look at him like, bro, you were a doctor. You were helping people.
He asked, there's another one. This is why I've said this several times. I'd be such a bad manager. Because I thought, there's no way this fucking guy's going to make it.
Yeah.
I saw his stand-up. He asked me about it. I go, it's really a tough road. I guess you're
Yeah.
already a doctor. It's really cool, you know. You're a doctor. You're
Yeah.
a healer or whatever.
You made it. You're
you
good.
made it. Fucking made, you know. They have commercials like spoofing him. He's so big.
Right. Yeah. When people can parody you, and then people know
Yeah.
what they're parodying, that's when you know.
Yeah,
like, okay, I've made it.
And he is so fucking loose. He'll do anything.
Yeah. I'll obviously prove it in The Hangover when he jumped out of a car naked, hitting a guy with a crowbar.
Was that really him?
Yeah, that was really him, and he was really naked, and that
Wow.
was
Ugh.
really his tiny Asian pecker right
Oh,
there
yeah.
in the middle of a big bird's nest of a bush.
That's sad when you're known for your small dicks. You know?
Right? Like that's the stereotype. See, I mean, that's the thing about being a midget is we have a mystery around our cock size. Like I have women come to me all the time, like, so is it like what? So is it big? I don't know. And they ask me all the time. It's great.
Well, there's a fetish for everything, and I know that's one of them.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Be like, oh, Brad, you hook up with fetish girls? They're exploiting you. How am I being exploited? I'm
Right.
coming.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That's it.
When I shoot a load at the end, what's the exploitation?
I'm really feeling ashamed as I'm squeezing the perfect titties. I'm really feeling bad for myself.
So you do have women hitting on you that are into that.
Yeah, a lot.
Really?
Yeah. They do. Here's what I try to tell people. I have when your average comedian my age gets off stage, I have less women that want to sleep with me than that average guy does. But the ones that want to sleep with me, it's happening. Like it's their goal. This is like,
It's on.
Yeah,
baby.
it's on. It's not an option. I can't even say no. It's like no. This is my life's dream. I have to bang a little person,
Wow.
which I am okay with. I'm fine. That's great. It's nice to be a bucket list.
Do you like big women?
I do. Big. I mean, and by big I mean tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, like tall, like 5'1". Like
Giants.
giant women. A mountain of a woman.
Who's the biggest chick you ever been with?
I was right after I started doing comedy. I started dating a USC volleyball player. She was 5'11".
That's great.
That was awesome. Us walking down any street holding hands got so many. Well, it wasn't really like holding hands. She was like dragging me, but we got so many stares, so many looks. People were just going. That one person actually walked up to us one time and went, "So how does that work?"
Who gets on top?
Yeah.
Are you a spinner?
Yeah, what happens? And I had to like tell them, well, when a man and a woman decide to make love for the first time, the penis goes in the vagina. And I just like
That doesn't
explained
sound
it
like your act. Sounds like the doctor.
Exactly.
Dr. Chong. What's his last name?
Ken Jeong?
Ken Jeong.
Yeah, so I like the tall women, but I have dated dwarf women as well. So I really don't, like, I prefer tall women maybe sexually, but I date dwarf women, and it's fine. Now that gets even more stares, because when people see two dwarves together, they just figure we're gonna start doing tricks at some point.
Right. The circus is in town.
Yeah, like, oh, something's gonna happen. It's like, no, we're just getting eggs. It's fine. There's no, we're not gonna like. I'm not gonna throw her on top of my shoulders and she's gonna get the eggs on the top shelf. Like, no, we're just getting eggs. It's fine.
Well, in conclusion, and I really appreciate you being on the show.
Well, thanks, Tom.
The reason that you're a comedian is because you're good, not because of any tricks. I not to be sappy, but I was very impressed with your performance in Austin.
Thanks, Tom.
You fucking slayed.
Thanks, Tom. Means a lot coming from you, man. And
you got it, brother.
yeah, so we're gonna do a circle jerk right now. Is that what we're doing?
I don't think it's much of a circle, but count me in. Brad Williams, everybody. Where you going to be? Anything else you want to drop?
Yeah, if you guys like podcasts and you're listening to this one, check mine out. I have a podcast called About Last Night. I do it with a very talented comedian named Adam Ray, and we will have the great.
He's got
Dom
the greatest
Irrera.
fucking head of hair.
I know, doesn't
he?
he?
What a handsome motherfucker.
He's so pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know why I picked him as my partner, because now I got. Yeah.
Are you guys on camera too?
We've done a couple live ones, but for the most part,
Because you know we're on
just
camera,
audio.
right?
Oh, we are?
You didn't know that?
No.
Are you serious?
I thought you were mugging to a fake audience. I don't know.
No. There's a camera right there. There's one over there. There's one over there.
Oh, okay.
I should have told you that. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I wasn't mugging or anything.
Brad Williams, thank you, brother.
Hey, thanks, Tom.
Be well. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.